Hello, Mastic. We're back once again with your vice presidents for the class of 2020. I'm here to ask them some questions, maybe some hard-hitting questions, and maybe some general questions. Who knows? We'll see. All right, so I'm here with
Maddie Kabza.
Amanda Cohen.
All right, so let's get right into this. So you guys, what do you think is your goal for being the vice president of the class of 2020?
Personally, my goal is just to make sure that everybody has a really fun junior year and take some stress out of them. I'm also looking forward to planning prom if I assume the position. I have some ideas for that. I have fundraising ideas, and I'm also very open-minded, so I'm here to listen to my fellow classmates if they have ideas.
Yeah, as Maddie said, I want to listen to what everybody has to say in our class. It's like a really big important thing to me because I feel like last year I didn't run for any class officer. Yeah. And I feel like some people are not as heard as much as anybody else, so I really want to get everybody's voices. Also, personally, I really want to plan more fundraisers to raise money for maybe lowering the cost of maybe tickets for parking, and then also for prom, because prom's expensive and some people can't go because it's too expensive. So
you referenced fundraisers. Now, if there was one fundraiser that you could, it would be your all-time favorite and you think it would get the class the most money, what would it be?
I was thinking maybe like a cook-off, because I feel like we don't really do that, and we don't do bake sales anymore. I think we used to, but like a cook-off maybe. Or I remember when I was in elementary school, we'd have girls' night, and I think that'd be really cool. I feel like a lot of people would like that.
What about you, Maddie?
I already came up with some fundraising ideas for this year, and I have some ideas that Student Gov should use next year, a character brunch aimed at younger children. I think it would bring in a lot of money to have. We can even have student volunteers, so students who need volunteer time get that volunteer time, and they dress up as the characters. It's like a win-win, and the kids get to take pictures with them, eat with them. I also had another kind of idea of a dance, but a decades dance, which I feel like would be really fun. I feel like our students don't partake in dances. They kind of are a joke, like homecoming, they don't like as much. But you put a decade on a dance, then people have fun. They get to dress up with it. They get to be creative.
So in that case, how do you feel that you could get somebody to take a dance more seriously than, say, a homecoming? In what ways do you think, besides making it the decades theme and having people really get into their character, what ways do you also plan on implementing this to make so we have numbers showing up and the fundraising?
I really think it's all about advertising. I feel like, I'm in a marketing class now, so I guess that's really why I think it's advertising, because I feel dances now, homecoming, it's not advertised as a serious thing or a fun thing. And there's nothing promoted that seems appealing to the students besides it's a dance in the gym. But if you put a label on it and make it something interesting, then kids would go.
Would you like to add anything?
Personally, I think that for dances in the future, we really need to emphasize on people's voices and ask people what they want in advance, because I feel like sometimes we just plan dances on what we want and not what maybe other people want, and then we could choose what the majority wants, and then we show more numbers showing up to dances.
So you also talk about getting voices heard. So in your opinion, what is the best way for people to get their voices heard besides you running around like a madman trying to figure out, okay, what is this person saying? What's this person saying? What do you think is the best way to have your class be heard?
Well, I think as a vice president, you really need to be sociable, and you need to, I think, remember names and remember personal things about people. For example, I feel like I remember names really well, and when I feel like I'm really approachable, so I'll remember your name, and maybe I'll remember something about you, and then I feel like I can connect to people on more of a personal level, and I think vice presidents really need that, and then you can hear more voices because maybe they're more open to talk to you.
Anything would you like to add to that?
Well, I as well feel that I'm very approachable, and I like to get to know my classmates, and I think if they have anything to say, I'm very open-minded, and I want to hear what they have to say. I already know some people who have come up to me talking about, future proms and stuff like that, even the ring dance this year. I know a lot of kids wanted a new DJ, and we worked out a new DJ for the ring dance.
So that's great to hear. So let's get into the nitty-gritty questions. What does your room look like at home, Maddie?
My room, for the most part, I keep very clean and organized. But also, some things in my room that kind of just like show my personality. I have some fish posters in my room, or I don't know if they're considered posters, because I love fish. I love animals. I love all animals. And I have a wall with the twinkle lights on it. I don't know if you know what those are, but twinkle lights, and they have all pictures of me and my friends, my family, quotes that I like, just really things that inspire me.
I also feel like I keep my room pretty clean, and like I clean it regularly because I don't want it to get too unorganized. So for the most part, on my walls, above my bed, I have a big poster of Italy, because my family's from Italy, and sometime in my life I really want to visit Italy because I feel like that'd be really cool. I have postcards from art museums because I like to buy one every time I go to an art museum. My room's pretty clean. I don't like to have anything on my desk unless I'm working on it. I have a shelf above my desk that also has all my like art materials and like my sketchbooks, and then also my school books. And then I have like a little bedside like cushion that opens up, and I have like, like my makeup that I have to use in the morning, and like other books that I maybe read when I go to bed.
So, this is the hardest question I'm ever going to ask you, ever. Is it whip or nene? What do you prefer?
Whip all the way.
Whip all the way?
I'd agree.
Yeah, I can't.
I'd agree.
I can't nene, so I like the whip.
The nene has some...
It's tricky.
It's tricky. It's a tricky maneuver, but the whip is as simple as it gets.
Staple. It's a
staple to anything. So, that's about all the time we have today for the class of 2020 vice presidents. Any closing statements you'd like to say?
I would just like to say that if you do vote me in as your vice president again, I'm very excited. I have many ideas for the future. I'm here to listen to you if you want to talk to me, and I'm literally just trying to make your junior year the best it can possibly be.
Yes, so give me a chance. I know I haven't been vice president as much as Maddie has, and but I think that I can do a really good job if you vote me in. And again, as Maddie said, I'm here to talk, like, about anything, honestly. Like, you can always talk to me, but especially for junior year next year. I want to hear everybody's voices.
That's it for your vice presidents of the class of 2020 Mastic. We'll be back again with more interviews from class officers. Hello, Mastic High School. I'm Alex Iavino, and you usually know me for doing the energetic morning announcements. But today, we're taking a serious note, and we're interviewing the secretaries for the class of 2020. I'm here with
Yusufa.
Mary.
One question I'd like to ask Yusufa here for the first question. What is your plan to do with the class?
I want to make the last 2 years of the class of 2020 memorable.
In what ways do you think you can do that? What ways do you see yourself accomplishing those goals?
Making more like fun events, maybe field trips, things that are considered fun.
So just anything fun.
Yeah.
Yusuf's your guy. What about you, Mary?
For my goals, to make sure that our last years of high school are the best they could possibly be. A lot of fundraising ideas, and making sure prom is pretty lit next year.
Okay. What qualities do you think you have, Yusufa, that will bring people together in your class?
Well, I am determined to bring people together, and I am, like, I'll listen to ideas and listen to everyone's point, make them feel like they are part of the conversation.
So you want to make everybody feel included.
Yeah.
You don't want everybody to feel, or anybody at least, to feel excluded. You want everybody to feel like they have a voice and they can be heard.
I want everyone's ideas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about you?
I'm pretty social, so I talk to like everybody in our grade, and I'm very approachable. So if you ever have anything that like you think should be added next year, I'm make sure it gets done, I guess.
So do you think that you would be able to walk around and actually be asking and hearing from
Yes,
the classmates
definitely,
of yours
yeah.
that like what they want and what they would like to see happen in their class? So you think you'd be able to fill that?
I'd be able to, definitely.
Okay. Do you have any ideas, because we touched on this previously, Yusufa, but do you have any ideas at all for fundraising? Like, what are some ideas that you think you can go through with?
I think that we could make maybe like better apparel to sell.
So, Mary, what do you think are your favorite ideas for fundraisers? Do you have any?
I think dances are pretty cool, and like date auctions.
What do you think makes you so approachable, Mary?
I think just my personality, pretty much. I'm pretty social and friendly. I'm very outgoing, like every day. There's very energetic, sometimes a little too much, pretty loud. Don't really have a filter, to be honest. So, yeah.
So I don't think that you should let the loudness put you down, but
No,
I think I think that as long as you make yourself open and approachable, it should be great. Now, Yusufa, what about you? What do you think makes you so approachable?
I feel like I'm pretty easy to talk to. I always like come to school with a positive attitude. Like I don't want to scare anyone. So, yeah.
So do you feel like you said before that at the same time you want to be approachable, but do you want to strike that balance between going out and trying to hear what your classmates want, or do you want people to more approach you?
Well, no, I feel like it's kind of my responsibility, like, to go out and try to see what people want. But yeah, I also want people to, like, feel comfortable coming up to me and sharing ideas.
Okay. But what do you guys want to say as a closing statement, Yusufa?
As secretary, I won't just do the work that I am supposed to. I want to go, like, beyond and help make the school better.
Yeah.
And our grade.
And okay. Mary, what about you?
Well, vote for me. Make the best year next year, junior year. Best year of your life. Yeah, vote for me, please. 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 Please.
Please.
Yeah, please.
Well, that's it for your secretaries. I hope you enjoyed Massac High School. Hello, Massac High School. I'm back here with the MRA representatives for the class of 2020, and they're going to give us some information on what they plan to do with their MRA positions. So I'm here with
Molly Dock,
Annie Rose Gaber,
Jessica Palace.
Theo Gross.
and I'm going to ask them some hard-hitting questions to see which one you guys would like to vote in for your MRA representative. So, to start it off, what are your goals? What do you think you want to accomplish with this role of the MRA?
well, I've been a part of the MRA for 2 years now. I started freshman year and I was reelected last year. And I learned new leadership skills throughout, and I'd like to continue that, especially setting up with the prom this year. Well, next year, in junior year.
and I was a part of the MRA this coming year, and we did a lot of stuff. Like I helped plan like the DJ for ring dance, and I helped set up a lot of that, and that's what I hope to do also for prom, and also just communicating with the students to get like more ideas on how to improve for this junior year.
Yeah, big goal is definitely prom, and also like raising money, like fundraising money, like getting money for our class, I guess, and throwing a good prom.
Well, if I am lucky enough to be elected, I intend to create a fun and enjoyable junior year for everyone in the class at a very difficult academic year in our lives. So I think it'd be nice to create kind of a break from all of our difficulties that we experience with academics, and take some time to do some fun activities and organize with prom and stuff and do a bunch of different fundraisers throughout the year.
So, you suggested and talked about first the fundraisers. So, what are some of your plans for fundraising for the class of 2020?
Well, a big one this year we've been talking about holding this brunch for younger kids in the elementary schools. I think that's a big one. So we're trying to get that started. And also good raffles maybe and stuff like that.
What about you, Theo?
Some basic ideas I had for fundraising. I thought maybe we could do a bake sale or something where we make baked goods and sell them during lunch or whatever. We could do a student government car wash. I suggested. and then we could kind of just like sell more like apparel, maybe some class specific stuff for the class of 2020. And we could also do maybe a talent show, whether it be for all grades or just for our class in general. I think that'd be a good way to raise money.
Now, Molly, what do you think are some good ways that you motivate people in the class of 2020? What are your ways that you think you would be able to motivate your class to either work harder or raise funds for a project?
Well, talking about fundraising, I was thinking about doing like a trivia night possibly, and then I saw on the National Honor Society website they have like a Kiss a Senior Goodbye program where like you take like a bunch of Hershey Kisses and then have like either administrators, teachers, students write a little letter to the seniors, and then we can all administrate them throughout. I thought that was a really good idea. Motivating wise, I lead by example. In my opinion, where I have a really optimistic and positive attitude towards everything. Like everything is a learning opportunity no matter what, and so you should definitely try everything that you can. So I motivate.
And how do you feel that you motivate people?
I kind of agree with Molly. Like setting up an example like really helps students like to look up to you, and then also being like personable and like students being able to say, yeah, like they understand me, like they'll do stuff that like we give ideas to, and like even if they're not, no wait, never mind. Yeah, so like we'll give like really good ideas that the class gives to us, and that'll just all around make them feel that their leaders are like doing very well.
So something I would like to ask all of you, because it could get hectic being in the government of the school, how do you guys feel that you can balance multiple priorities? What do you think you would do to balance, say, a fundraiser between, I don't know, a school event? So how do you think you would do that, Molly?
Well, for example, actually tonight I have my states game for lacrosse, round 2. Let's go Massic.
Let's go Massic.
And so multiple times in the school year I'm like met with schoolwork, student gov. I'm also a student of the Bridgeport Aquaculture School, so I also have to balance that. I do a bunch of clubs there, and so I just incorporate everything I do and set out a schedule for myself. And if I feel like I can't do something, I definitely like put my priorities ahead.
Theo?
What's it called? I think I've proven I'm pretty good at balancing stuff, because like Molly, I've proven I can successfully balance between schoolwork and athletics. So I intend to do the same with the student government, where I can balance between like the different fundraisers and all the different events. I can balance doing all of that in addition to my schoolwork and athletics. I think I'm pretty good at managing that stuff.
Well, like individually, like we all, I believe, like are good at balancing different aspects of our life, but Student Gov, I think, is more of a team. So different members of the team can work on different events and different fundraisers, so we can all like end up with a like common goal.
I agree, Jess, with what you said, how we have meetings like most of the year, and that's what would be happening during junior year. So we'd be meeting together, the whole like MRA government, and we'd be talking about all like a bunch of ideas, and like all these brains put together would really create like a really good like fundraiser or whatever the junior class needs.
Now, failure is obviously something that everybody has to deal with, and when you deal with failure, something good you should learn from it is take what's good about what you tried and try again. So how do you guys feel that you individually deal with failure when it comes to that? Molly?
Well, I was thinking when I saw this question in the samples that instead of like failure, I was thinking more of a struggle. So like me personally, I'd always like get in my head about certain things, like overthink things, or go over in my head like what I did wrong. Like for example, like in a sports game, if I like messed up something, I would like think about that and I kind of sit with it. But in more recent years, balancing everything, I realized that as I said earlier, everything's like a learning opportunity, and I have to think of everything as in a positive way.
And also, agreeing with what Molly said, also everyone has like that one class that maybe they don't do so well in, and like for me, like one time I've failed a test before, and like to cope with that, I talk to the teachers and I'd ask for like extra help, and like that would really help me for the next test. Maybe ask for extra credit if they give it, and I think that really helps, just talking to other people.
Yeah, failure, I definitely think, like, this is going to sound kind of cliche, but it's definitely, like, a big learning experience, and I don't think you could, like, learn the same way without, like, messing up. So I think learning from that experience and communicating with other people to, like, find out how to do better next time is a big thing.
Well, yeah, I feel like when you fail, you kind of have to, like, just get back up again. You need to take advantage of, like, whatever the next opportunities that come your way are. Like, for instance, I failed in getting elected to vice president last year in the student government election, but I didn't give up, and I'm back here again running for MRA representative.
So here comes the hardest question I'm going to ask any of you, and you don't have to give some long, drawn-out answer. This is the hardest question of the bunch. Now, Jake Paul or Logan Paul? Molly.
Neither.
That is, you took my joke. Good job, Molly. We'll skip to the next hardest hitting question. Is it Yanni or Laurel?
I mean, personally, I hear both. Like, if I say it, I hear both.
Well,
like,
yeah,
whatever.
scientifically
So-
proven. It's like the different sound waves. So like the first
Oh.
the first time I heard Laurel, and then I watched an ASAP Science video and I heard Yanni.
I watched that too.
Yeah, and they explained like the different sound waves about it. So like it actually the video is Laurel. Just putting that in disclaimer.
It is Laurel, so
Yeah.
Personally,
You heard it here first.
Personally,
What?
I hear Yammy. Like,
Yammy.
Y-A-M-Y. Like, I don't know. That's what I hear. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like more of a real word than Yanni. So.
Yeah.
So what about that side of the table? What do you guys think?
About Yanni.
Yanni or Laurel? Which one? Unless you want me to ask Whip or Nene. Which, Whip or Nene?
I heard both.
Both? Because I said both. Okay.
What? No. I heard Yammy like Annie, and then I heard Laurel underneath, but I heard Yanni first.
I've seen videos proving that it's Laurel. I mean, like, when I first heard it, I thought it was Yanni, but then, like, as I listened to it more, it turned into Laurel.
Turned into Laurel.
Yeah.
All right. So that's about as much time as we have for this time. So this is our MRA representatives for the class of 2020. Would you guys like to say something for your closing statements?
So for those of you who don't know, MRA means the Mastic Representative Assembly, and just as a consideration, like due to the qualities that we have, who do you really want representing Mastic as a whole? So, just disclaimer.
I mean, yeah, like, Mastic Representative Assembly, like, we just help support, like, the vice president and the president, and we kind of help, like, build the overall structure where we can give ideas that you give to us, so just keep that in mind.
And like a big thing, like our prom is coming up, so the people that you want planning the prom, like you should vote into office.
I think it would be a very rewarding experience for me if I were lucky enough to be elected. I think I could definitely contribute to making junior year fun and enjoyable for everyone in the class, so I hope that I can have your vote come election day.
Well, that's it for the MRA representatives, Mastic, for the class of 2020. We'll see you again with more class officers interviews.